How high will the gold prices reach? It really depends on how high the US debt is going to be. And the one in yellow is the US debt and the orange is the gold. And we can see that the US debt have reached a historical high at 34 trillion US dollars. And let me just do a percentage comparison that we can see that between the US debt and gold, they move in tandem together. And today we will study the relationship between the US debt versus a gold over this period and how high the price of gold will achieve and how soon we're going to get there. My name is Con Hao. My work in this channel, as always, is to study behavior science and finance, discover correlation between different markets, and uncover potential opportunities. And before we get into the subject, please do take some time to read into the disclaimer. And I've included the relationship between US debt and gold, but this time around, I have added all the QE and as well as QT. QE stands for quantitative easing and QT stands for quantitative tightening. And let me just give you a brief definition about what is QE. QE is where central bank purchase government debts to increase the money supply. And we can see that what happened to November 2008 with QE1 followed by 2 and 3. But I want you to take notice of the acceleration of debt, the one in yellow, with the acceleration of debt. And in the same time, I want to point out to you that you also focus on the acceleration of gold at the same time. It move in tandem together. And then we have the QT in June 2017. Now, let me just again give you a brief definition of what is QT. Is where the central bank reduce the money supply by selling off the government debts that they previously bought during QE. When there's QT, it means that there's no more QE. And with that, gold still maintained, but it's just moving stagnated here. That we can see that from here onwards, the gold just moving kind of sideways. And here comes the COVID-19 in March 2020, and the Fed have wrought this unlimited QE. And you can see very clearly that when the debt start to increase, let's look at the acceleration, and gold also accelerated. And then we have QT again in June 2022. And what happened here is that we can still see without the QE, with QT, the debt still continue to rise. And what's happening here? And there are several reasons why the US debt keep going up without QE. One of the key reasons is because of the government spending exceeds revenue. And number two is that the interest payment on existing debt keep on rising. And number three is that the fiscal policy decision, meaning that the government spending that are not offset by cuts elsewhere. And there's few others that we can see that after QT, the US debt keep on growing. And let me just refer you to the micro picture. I just want to point out the relationship between the two, that when US debt increase during the March 2020 with unlimited QE, you can see very well, if I'm going to do a drop down here, that the gold also accelerated until today. And let me just go back to where we were, which is about here. And the key question is this: how high the price of gold will achieve and how soon we are going to get there. Then we got to ask ourselves this very important question, is this: is there any chance that for the US debt to reverse and head down? If your answer is not quite possible, then we will have to expect gold to keep trending higher. Understanding this principle, so therefore I have been investing in gold related assets for quite a number of years by now. Since about 2015, I get serious about gold because I understood about the principle between the US debt versus the gold. And I hold some long-term position in the mining stocks, physical gold, paper gold. On top of it, I like to add bonus to my gold portfolio. With that, knowing that the US debt is continuously going up, meaning that the trend is up, any retracement for the gold, I would like to also take on additional mid to short-term position to buy into dips whenever opportunity arises from time to time. As long as US debt keep growing, any retracement in the gold is a buying opportunity. Stay tuned for my coming tutorial. Remember to subscribe to my channel. The market are always telling us on their next move. Join us in our weekly case study and discussion. Click on my profile icon or description below to find out more. Feel free to leave any comments below. I'd love to exchange ideas with you. Really happy that you stayed through this tutorial. You have many great trading weeks ahead.